Hello, everybody. You're all very, very welcome to Sligo Library broadcast. This is on behalf of Work Matters at Sligo Library. We're going to be talking today to Jean Gilligan from IT Sligo, and Jean is here to tell us all about Springboard Plus. Springboard Plus provides courses for those who want to reskill or upskill in areas that there's a proven demand for qualified employees. Jean, can you give us a brief overview of the Springboard Plus programme is about?
Hi Maeve, thank you very much for the inclusion of Springboard and IT Sligo as part of your series. Springboard commenced back in 2011, so it's 10 years now, delivering programs to help people upskill. And its initial objective was aimed at helping people who were unemployed to return to the workforce. So they were all programs designed to meet current skill needs, and that continues to be the case. So on an annual basis, I'm required to submit programs to the HEA that meet current skills needs or skills shortages. So we refer to the expert skills reports and various other reports. And we work closely with industry to identify where they see skills shortages when they're looking for employees and the type of programs that would help them to get those employees, to get people upskilled to meet those requirements. So Springboard has diversified over the years. As I said, the objective at the starting point was for unemployed people based on the fact that we had 15.4% unemployment in the country at the time. That's changed over the years, and again we see that increase due to COVID-19 now. But with the changes, Springboard has adapted. So it now funds people that are employed as well as those that are unemployed. And they are all in courses and areas where there's skill shortages. So the fact that we submit programs on an annual basis means that we're only submitting programs that meet current needs and they're very relevant to what employers are looking for now. And we fund programs from level 6 right through to level 9. So they are introductory courses for people maybe who've never been to third level, right up to master's level.
Okay, Jean, so you cater for, I suppose, a wide variety of industries and also employed and unemployed people wishing to upskill. One thing that I hear is very unique about Springboard Plus at IT Sligo is that all the approved programs are delivered online. Can you tell us a bit about this, and particularly for people who wouldn't be familiar with online learning, how it works?
So IT Sligo deliver all of their Springboard programs online, and we've been delivering programs online since 2002. And in total now we have over 5,000 students online, with a large majority of those being Springboard courses. And online is very useful for people who are working or who have other considerations, other maybe minding duties at home, to facilitate them to be able to access courses at a time that suits themselves. So we use an online learning platform called Moodle, and anybody that's familiar with any kind of social media platform will find it quite user friendly. So essentially, when a student becomes registered in IT Sligo, they have access to a specific Moodle page, which is their program page, and that will have their timetable on it. It'll have information about their lectures. It'll have little forums where they can talk to each other, talk to their lecturers, find out news and information. And then there's links to their specific subject pages, which will have links to the live lectures, to the content of their course, to videos, to literature. And so they click on that live lecture link when it's their class. The classes are delivered live, they're delivered in the evening time, but they're also recorded because we're very conscious that people maybe work shift hours. We have, as I said, a large number of online students, but they're not all nationally based. We have international students as well. So the fact that we deliver our lectures live, but they're also recorded, means that people can access them at any time that suits themselves. And people who are out of education for a long time find it really useful because they can actually listen to snippets. So if they decide they only want to look at 15 minutes of the recording, then they can do so. They can get up, they can leave it, they can come back, re-listen to that, or listen to the full content and move on. So it's very accessible, it's very user friendly, and it helps people who have been out of education for a while because their full lecture is recorded and captured for them to listen to as many times as they want. with COVID-19, we've adapted further because we now have some of our labs are delivered as videos and as recordings as well, where people would have maybe had to access NIBRT, a facility, a training facility that we use based in Dublin. We also had exam centres in Sligo, Cork and Dublin, and now we're using a proctoring system where people can complete their exams online and they don't have to access us. So they're all adaptations we've had to make in the current climate, but because we're delivering programs online for so long, we've kind of been reviewing those situations in advance, looking at remote proctoring beforehand. We've had assessments online, so it's been quite easy for us to adapt to those.
So it sounds like a very flexible and learner friendly kind of experience for those who look to participate in Springboard Plus. And I suppose, too, what you're saying is that you are experts at delivering online, whereas a lot of people are just learning how to do it now. I mean, I don't know how many Zoom calls and video calls I've had in the last year, whereas at IT Sligo, you're used to using all these routes for delivering education. So you have a really good standard of it. Can you tell us a little bit about the kind of qualifications that people would expect to gain if they did decide to apply for and get a place on a Springboard Plus approved course?
Yeah, well, Springboard funds programs from level 6 right through to level 9. So it's entry into college right up to master's level. They're all 1 year part-time programs, with one exception. We do have one 2 year program, which is an ICT skills conversion program. That's the only exception to the Springboard rule of 1 year part-time programs. So level 6 is introductory level, level 7 is your ordinary degree, level 8 your honours degree, level 9 your master's. And it's like a ladder, so people can come in at level 6 and complete a level 7 course. They can build on that. They can do to gain an ordinary degree, gain their honours degree. They can upskill in a completely different area. So they may already have an honours degree in business and decide they want to move into a science industry or science role, and they can start course at level 6 and get an introductory level into that. So there are all levels catered for. There are full awards, certificate awards, right through, and we have 3 schools here in IT Sligo. We have business engineering and science, and we have programs in all 3 schools funded by Springboard this year. So we're quite adaptable to the different requirements of industry, the different types of skills needs and the skills shortages to be able to deliver programs across the different schools.
Okay. We're very much focusing with Work Matters on entrepreneurs at the moment. Could you tell us a bit about the types of courses? You mentioned you have 3 schools in IT Sligo. So within that, what types of courses, Jean, do you think would be of interest to entrepreneurs?
Well, based on the current climate, we've all had to change and diversify with COVID-19. And we have seen that too with our programs. And this year, with our submissions to Springboard, we're asked to be very cognizant of that and to consider programs in relation to COVID-19 and the adaptations people have had to make. But for example, this year, starting in January, we had a level 6 cert in social media marketing. And that has a wide cohort of people on it from a range of different backgrounds. And they're people who may have relied on in the past footfall or word of mouth with regard to their businesses. And they've now had to change how they work and their ways of work to look at online and adapt to meet the requirements and to use an online platform to market their company, their industry, or if they're selling a particular product. So that's one area. We also have, as I mentioned, the ICT Skills Conversion Program, which is a 2 year program, and that's aimed only at people who are actually employed. And that is for somebody who has a level 8 qualification. It could be something like the financial sector, accountants, banking, architects, who see a need or a niche in a computing area and they want to get a computing qualification. And in 2 years, they can convert and have a full qualification at level 8 in the computing area. And that's used quite a bit by entrepreneurs who have an idea about something in the computing sector and they want to diversify from the qualification they previously held into that area. There are a number of different programs specifically related to entrepreneurship funded by Springboard. And as I said, the programs funded change year on year. And we won't know until May what's going to be funded in September. But there are a wide variety of programs to meet everybody's somebody's needs depending on whether they want to upskill themselves or upskill their employees. We may have small businesses who might find it difficult to financially support somebody to upskill, and they can use Springboard to do that with programs at level 6, free for all participants, but level 7 to 9, Springboard will fund 90% of the fees, which is a huge amount of fees and very useful for companies, industry, small companies that require help with regard to funding for their employees.
Okay. It strikes me if someone takes up one of these courses that it can be quite challenging from a financial or professional or a personal point of view in that they're studying, they're working, and may have other duties. So, can IT Sligo give some level of support to these Springboard Plus students, or what kind of supports are available to them?
Absolutely. So we would have the same supports available for our Springboard students as we have for our fee-paying online students, as our full-time students. So we have careers office, we have maths tutorials, we have writing supports available to them. So all of the supports that are available to all of our other students are available to the Springboard students as well. With our online suite of programs, we also have online student advisors, and they are in that role specifically to help students with non-academic queries, if they're having issues, if they're finding it difficult, if maybe even with accessing some of the recordings. They can help in a wide range of areas. And then we have course coordinators specific for each program, and they'll help students with the academic areas that they may be unsure of or maybe having difficulties too. So there's a huge range of supports available for students. And there's no differentiation made on them depending on where they're funded or how they're funded.
Okay, thanks, Jane. You've really given us an overview of a wide variety of types and levels of courses pitched at, I suppose, different skills, people from different sort of working backgrounds that are available through the Springboard Plus program. You've given us a huge amount of information. I'm sure people are going to want to have a look at it in more detail. So, can you tell us where somebody can contact you to find out more about the program?
So what I'd recommend first, Maeve, is that people would log on to the Springboard website, www.springboardcourses.ie, and create an account on that website. And they can set up notifications from there so that they become aware when Springboard launches. We're not due to launch until May this year, and we won't know until around that time what programs we're funded for. So it's very difficult to give people specific information about courses when we're not just sure yet what's actually going to be funded. But it is a very popular initiative, a very popular scheme, and it's important that people would get their applications in as soon as possible. So therefore, I would recommend that they create an account and that they have access to those notifications so that they know as soon as those programs are launched. Now, my contact details are also on the Springboard website, and I can be contacted via email at gilligan.jean@itsligo.ie, and I can give you that information to put up maybe on a slide on the end. And that's the best way to contact me at the minute. Or you can phone the college if you want, and they can put you through to my extension. But email is probably the best way to contact me, as a lot of us are working remotely for the moment.
Okay, so clear message there to get on the website and get registered so that you are up to date with what is going to be on offer from May with Springboard Plus. And also, all those details will be on the Work Matters section of the Sligo Library website. Any final messages you'd like to give to a potential student or somebody returning to college, Jean?
Definitely look at Springboard. It's a fantastic initiative. It has a huge range of programs funded. I know we deal specifically with the IT Sligo programs, but if there isn't a program that we would have to suit you, there's a huge range of programs funded. And if you go onto the Springboard website, you can filter by a particular category to see if there's something that some other provider has that meets your needs. And online learning has adapted. People may be a little bit worried about being remote and on their own, but it has changed. There are forums, people work in groups together. It's possible to interact with your lecturer during the class. You can ask a question, you can type in a question, you can press a button to put up your hand. And I think maybe people are becoming more familiar with technologies like Teams and Zoom through work and through the fact that we've had to change our ways of work. So they shouldn't be daunted by it. Um, it isn't something that's going to leave you in a room on your own. You will be able to work in groups. You will have cohorts and people that you can talk to and discuss different topics with, and you've got forums to do that, and your lecturer is always very accessible. So if you are at all thinking about upskilling, it's a really good initiative. There's huge amount of funding available. As I said, 90% of fees are paid for people who are in employment from programs level 7 to 9, and level 6 are free for everybody. And anybody who's unemployed or in receipt of a social welfare payment will be funded on the programs from level 7 to 9 as well. So it is a really good initiative. There's a range of programs there available for you, and you really should go and have a look and see what if there's something of interest for you.
Wonderful. Jean Gilligan, Springboard Plus Programme Coordinator at IT Sligo. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Maeve.